Yeah, if he goes, I mean, a 6th round pick, you know, yeah, all hardcore pass. No, we're having some fun. We'll see about getting some Travis Kelce up in our life. But thank you so much for joining us right now on the Market Recap Show. We have a hell of a show lined up for you again. We have Brian Shannon coming through again. I mean, come on. We'll talk all about anchored VWAP. We'll talk about the state of the market. We'll talk about COMEX. We'll talk about everything, metals, whatever you guys want to. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that's here with me because, again, it is a real-time show happening right now for you as we will go into the market recap. And we had a nice little move there at the end of the day. Let's go over and have a quick look at the NASDAQ as these triple Qs start to go back upside here. Look at this little bump. Boom, in the last minutes of trade, we go bump in the night. I mean, Fed's Boston coming out tomorrow, or coming out today, talking about some of these numbers. Now remember, tomorrow, very, very interesting day. We're gonna have CPI data. We're gonna have PPI data on Thursday. I don't know what this number is gonna come out as, but if you're gonna look at something right here, let's just look at something that I just tweeted. I know this is a little bit early, but this is what's being expected for tomorrow. Right into here. So these are the expectations for trade tomorrow. Barclays, I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me zoom in a little bit. There it is. That's good. Okay. So 3-3, 3-4, 3-4, 3-4, 3-4. Can anybody say 3-4? So it looks like right now, there it is. Shout out Fabian. Good job on that one. We'll get some calculations going through. What number are we expecting for tomorrow? Bank of America says 3-3. Scotiabank, shout out, says 3-5. Wells Fargo says 3-5. I'm over here. Let's go a little lower. Let's go a little lower. Let's go 3-3 tomorrow. Thanks for that as I'll zoom this back out and go back over to here. But you know what? I think the market might have agreed. Hey, if we get chilled out inflation, then maybe those rate cuts are back on the table one more time. Let's see. We don't know what the market's going to do. We had a great jobs or a hotter jobs number come through. Market reacting to that right now as there goes the triple Qs. Nicely cooking to the upside. Let's flip this over to a daily chart. Daily chart. All right, hold on with me. That should have flipped, but did not. There, let me see. Now go back to a 3-minute. There it is. Okay, so here's the daily chart. Daily chart. Why isn't that flipping? Uh-oh, trade ideas. Having a problem going back and forth. But there's the daily on the Qs trying to make up some of those highs. What was moving around today? We talked about this yesterday with Mr. Michael Noss. Let me see if I flip over again. Okay, 3 minutes working. This is the daily. Okay, good. 3 minutes. Hold on a second. Let me switch this to a day, and that stays at 3. Okay, good. So right there, today we get a little bit of a bump up. We talked about this with Michael Noss yesterday, right? Look at this baseline there in UNG. I know it's not really the season as we come into warmer temperatures, but for right now, this looks like it wants to bounce. I'm kind of done talking about that. Gold just continues. I mean, boom, for gold, making new highs to the upside as well. Is this that Epic pen? Where's my Epic pen? I need to get that up here because it's good for drawing right now. There we go. We'll open that up. And of course, oh, that was Zoom that I opened up by accident. Sorry about that, guys. But gold still making new highs. What about silver was something else that we talked about recently as well. Look at silver starting to break. Silver a little more interesting on the weekly chart, though, as we continue to go a little higher and higher. Here we go. This is the pen that we like right into here. So again, silver still looking to take out some of these past highs up into there, up $25, $26. Silver now making that move. As we talked about that from Kitco coming out yesterday and saying silver actually has more industrial uses than gold. I think we knew that, but that could spark an upside move there in silver. Shout out to High Park. We have our coaches meeting. We got on our little bracelet here from my daughter that says Coach Shawn. We have a good meeting there tonight, so we're going to get out of here real quick and get ready to rock and roll. No earnings on board here, but we are brought to you by, once again, the Benzinga platform. So let me call that over here and just show you getting your news, Benzinga Pro platform. As earnings or anything starts to drop into here, we'll get all of those plays for you immediately. But you might be asking, so what was today all about? Semiconductor and AI names really ruled the roost today. Take a look at NVDA, obviously on the weekly. Let's switch that back to a 3-minute chart. I mean, a pretty epic fall. We know Neil had that break of 850. That tanked down to 830. Wondering about a pickup now for some NVIDIA. But the problem here is, look at this. We are still going a little higher on RSI. So we could still get bought to the high side right now. We do not get a divergence here today. AI, nice move to the upside there for NVIDIA. So some AI names coming into play there with it closing near the top, looking at that 850, 853 coming into play again. But Microsoft, investments, Alphabet, Broadcom partnerships. So, I mean, more and more continue to go. Here we go right here. You know what might be good to look at? The heat map. Let's see what was heated up. So there's Google right there on some of that talk. So Google, take me off for a minute there, Fabian. Let's, yeah, the other way around if you can. There we go. Yeah, so there's Google right there. We'll talk about Google with Axion project with ARM. So Google starting to go to the upside there, right? No Broadcom on here. We'll find out what Broadcom's doing later on. Microsoft with the nice move today, but only up 0.4. Again, Microsoft and Japan AI investments. Meanwhile, Gaudi 3 coming into play as well. Look at Meta down 0.78 today. Financials struggled ahead of major bank earnings, which come on Friday. So if we're going to go over find here, where is our bank sector? There it is right here. Banks struggled a little bit. Berkshire down. JP Morgan down that 1%. WFC coming on Friday, also down that 0.5% as well. We didn't have too many major Fed speakers until the end of the day, and we saw what that happened. We await tomorrow's CPI, followed by Thursday's PPI number. But there's Google again. Let's get rid of that. Nice movement upside there on Google. As if you look back at a daily chart here for Goog, nice move back up to the upside, taking out some of those day highs. This was a top stock for me today. Google, one of my best. You know what? Because it's Brian Shannon Day, let me just draw an anchor down here on this low for Google. This is a anchored VWAP back into that October low. We're still nowhere near that. Let me see. I think I can just draw another one here. Let me click that up. What about an anchor from here? That most recent low. I think I got to delete this actually before I draw another one. But we'll talk more about this with Brian coming up very, very soon. There's a new anchor. So yeah, with the 50 period. So off of that recent bottom, Google really cooking. Nicely done up to the upside today for Google. So that was a nice name as well, leading the way in for the rest. What else do you want to talk about? Banks. All right, we looked at XLF. So XLF, again, a major ETF, probably the one that most of us know, besides KRE for regionals. XLF taking a little bit of a sleeping. Uh-oh, look what we see here. Look at RSI. Way back, RSI a heavy pullback in right now, coming into that 50 point where we've had some dip buy opportunities off of a relatively weak RSI. But as you continue to hold out, you get this divergence pulling back in. I'm thinking, let me take a quick look. Let's clear this and just, whoopsies, and have the problem is I got to keep going back to this. Go back over here to JP Morgan again. See if we see something similar. Yeah, I mean, all these banks trying to pull back in. I should have done a little bit of a study on this as far as bank earnings are concerned. Let me have that for you. I don't even know what day it is anymore. So yesterday was Eclipse Day and my parents' anniversary. So that's the 8th. So the 9th, Tuesday. Guys, whenever you've been on air for 6, 7 hours and your own voice is giving you a headache, I just want to thank everybody for staying tuned with me right now. We do have Brian Shannon coming through. And again, I don't have Hydration Nation, but let's just cheers that up. Let's take a second and take a quick little breather here and take a drink. Bear with me for 1 second. Check out the merch. This is a Trader TV Live milk jug. Yeah, Fabian's laughing. This is like a milk thing. It's like an old, they did deliver. That's right. Okay, Boomer, right? That's right. What do you got milk now? And you get the gallons, you get the bags. You know what? Shout out to everybody. I mean, how many people are watching right now? We are streaming live absolutely everywhere. 2,700 of you. You know what? I could ask Brian this question. There's no bagged milk, I don't think, in the United States. I mean, here in Canada, you can't even, like, when you go to the store, you don't get, like, that jug. You know, like, there's none of that, man. You get liter bags of milk, like actual. You know what? I'm going to Google this. I mean, I think a lot of you guys have seen this. Bags of milk, Canada. Just to show you guys. There it is. Here it is. Shout out Nielsen. Oh, man. This is just funny because this is exactly, you know, here in Canada. And by the way, this is a trading show. Oh, no. Fabian's over there. Fabian, no one can see my screen. Go switch it, baby, right now. So Ramin's not here. It's only Fabian. But you got to have these milk containers right here, and then you get the bag of milk. So you get 2%. And then this is what it looks like here in our grocery store, actually. Shout out right now. So you get the cartons like this. So there are some of that, but the big quantities are in bags of milk. Am I going to get, like, people are going to be like, what the hell is this guy Googling bags of milk right now? But shout out to everybody there in the chat. Put some ones up if you guys have heard of bags of milk right now. Seems like, hey, what's up, Dream Ride Music? Seems like Shawn is tripping today. Really? I don't think you've watched the show enough, man. This ain't tripping by, this is the status quo. If anything, I'm more chilled out today. And actually, I went over something here today. Let's just call, we'll call this back, and I actually want to show something here as I continue to talk. Let's give a quick look and a big shout out to Trade Ideas, because how cool is this? How cool is this layout where right now you could see tons of green on the board today, green everywhere. What these are sector watches. So right here, consumer discretionary, Etsy leading the way, up 3.9. And then down here, 70% of consumer discretionary names today are in the green. So that's pretty cool. And look at this, man, this ETF watch list down here. TAN leading the way up here, XBI. We talked a little bit about the biotech names, led today by Moderna, right? Here it is down here, XLV. There's Moderna popping up on the list as well. What I was getting at, though, today, something that I believe is very important is, and I was talking about this with Adara, look at Moderna here. Shout out to, maybe I'll talk to Brian about this. It looks like Moderna trying to break out a little bit as well right here on the daily chart. That's getting going. I actually really like this name with a short float of 6.59%, but I feel like it's very important. We had some trades at the end of the day, and that is to focus on what you do best. Show the screen here so I can talk to the people here quickly. You know, don't get carried away hearing too much noise. We saw that move happen in the futures at the end of the day, and we got run over in Apple. So we took that deep breath, and we've noticed that when you have a trade the wrong way, the best thing to do is just respect the levels that you've already set out. Okay? Respect your risk management that you already have in place. How many of us, and I'll say a shout out to my friend there over at Tim Hortons. Maybe I am all over the place. He told me that he had gotten blown out too much because he's sitting there, he's trading, and he's getting frustrated. So he switched over to swing trading a little bit longer time frames so he's not frustrated with the positions. If his levels hit, they hit. If he gets stopped out, he gets stopped out. He found day trading, and especially what we do, scalping. I had over 200 fills today. It's very easy to get stubborn into your trades. So please, and I mean, let me call this up right here. Let me call up Apple real quick, and then I'm going to call on my good friend, because I don't make someone like Brian. I don't make anybody wait on this show because we roll out the best guests for you. We don't make anybody wait on any show, but I'm definitely not doing that to Brian. Look what happened right here. Apple, good bottom picks, right? We were long Apple. It was great. We had some good trades long Apple. We had long Apple again, and then we lost. I was frustrated here because the long I thought was right. And look what happened as soon as we got stopped out. Again, respecting our day low levels. This level all day, every day, I'm respecting that. I was looking at this as being a hold. It was a hold at this very bottom, but not into that bottom wick. I did not want to be part of that. And unfortunately, I made the bottom wick again. Got stopped out. Then I was like, oh man, we got a short, stopped out again. We went 0 for 2 there. Threw back some money on the day on Apple. But you know what we did instead? And I'm just going to say this. Look at this, Brian. We went over. We said, you know what? Let me try to figure this trade out. So we went back over into the TQQ, and I said, if the market's going to rip like this, let's let it just go all the way up, and then let's stick with a short that we could understand. And that was this break right here earlier on in the day. When the NASDAQ broke lower, we wanted to go and find some piece that we could short again. So we started some purple shorts into that level. We're able to get the piece that we wanted right into here. And then as the rest goes, monster trade back in for that trade. Let us make our money back and put us into a comfortable level. So as I say all the time, man, respect the levels that you're in and trade your game plan. And I can't think of anybody more perfect to call on than right now, my good friend and a friend of the show, Mr. Brian Shannon. Let's bring him on. Woo, hey, Mr. Brian Chen. Oh, we got a hat on today. That's looking real good. Did you get a chance to check that clips out yesterday?
There wasn't really much of it here. I mean, it was kind of cool. We've had better ones in Denver.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It was kind of cool for that. A lot of hype. And I kind of equated it to like a sporting event. It's like you love to go there and you get sort of all geared up. You get like that pregame going. Then the game happens and then the game's over. And then you're like, okay. You know, hopefully you're lifting a trophy at the end of it all today. But
it kind of felt like my team lost yesterday in regards to that.
Yeah, I kind of feel
a lot of
that,
letdown for all the hype.
I kind of feel that way as well. All right, thank you for joining me again here today. We had a nice little bump up there at the end of the day. I don't know if it's short covering or not. I was mentioning, I get a feel that maybe CPI may come a little cooler than expected, and we'll see what that can do to the market. But Bostic coming up, talking still about rate cuts, leading us to a nice little move there at the end of the day. Did you happen to catch any of that or any thoughts about maybe what we saw there at the end?
I didn't catch it at the end. I had to go pick up my car, but someone T-boned me a couple weeks ago. I finally got that back.
Okay.
But it was in the morning. I got some of that short, so that was nice off of the open. But other than that, I kind of stayed away from the indices. And I think what we're seeing here, Shawn, is just a whole bunch of indecision.
Right.
We've got the governors talking out of both sides of their mouth. And the price action, bullishly though, you can say it's correcting through time. It's really not going down. It's making begrudgingly going down and maybe sucking in short sellers. And like you said, that end of the day action could be those shorts saying, you know what, it's not going down today. I'm going to get out before the close.
It's like we made back the whole, I mean, look at this chart on the SPY. I know you have the SPYs up as well there, Brian, but we made back like the whole day, right back into like those levels that you were shorting. An absolutely remarkable move back for Bostic just coming out like one vote. You know what I mean? Like, come on, give me a break. I'm pretty sure we had the dot plot, and I think we're about there. 2 to 3 cuts. Are you hearing anything different than that on the rate cut side of things? I'm thinking 2. I don't think no. It's like a 2% chance for no rate cuts, but I guess that's still a possibility.
I really don't pay too much attention to it. It seems to change all the time, and my opinion means nothing. So
right. We'll just trade.
I'm just going to continue to follow price action, Shawn.
Yep. I agree 100%. And that was a talk that we had, and maybe you heard me. I feel it's very, very important that when we're sticking to price action, and especially when we're reading charts, technical analysis, all of that, kind of the same thing here, we got to also respect our profit areas, but we also have to respect our stops. Because out of nowhere, you're going to get these moves, and if you hold on to something, you could get run over, and I know that's a big part of how you trade as well.
Yeah, again, especially like in these indices, it's just been back and forth. It's always about too. I talk a lot about the personality of the stock.
Right.
And if you have a stock with a 5% daily ATR versus a stock with a 2% average daily ATR, you've got to trade them different.
Right.
Be aware of the differences in the personality of a crazy little biotech stock and an IBM or a Disney or something like that.
I like that average true range. That's just another little tidbit there, and thank you for dropping that. As I was talking to you, we have 2,300 watching right now. Plus, we're live on Instagram right now. We're live on, are we live on Twitch? Yes. Twitch as well. So there you go. TikTok, I'm not sure, but we're all over the place right now. So thank you, Brian, for coming through one more time. Yeah, a lot of people loving you in the chat. So thank you so much one more time for coming through at Alpha Trends. Okay, anything interesting on any charts maybe that you're seeing start to set up? I'll give it to you. I see that you have the SPY set up now. Anything particular that we should look for ahead of some of those numbers coming through tomorrow, 8:30, then PPI again on Thursday?
Well, I think on SPY that you've got, we're still in a daily uptrend. You just can't deny that. We're kind of consolidating through time, a choppy downtrend here a little bit the last week and a half, but overall it's still bullish. And we've got all kinds of catalysts coming. We've got the PPI, the CPI, we've got earnings reports just starting again. So I'm just going to continue to take it as I always do, one stock at a time. Try to manage risk. And I did tease this segment here, Shawn, with a good looking swing trade setup. But before I do that,
Hmm.
so we can really tease them, let's talk about one of the stocks that we were talking about last week, which was GLNG.
Right.
That was a purchase over here. And the reason I want to bring this one up is I have a rule that I always tell people to do at Alpha Trends, which is we never set our stop before the market opens. Always wait 5 minutes before the stock opens. So, for instance, in GLNG, I was long over here, just the right buy as it made the higher high above the flat to rising 5-day moving average.
Yep.
Took a third off somewhere over in here, and then my stop was initially on half of it was under here. Well, you can see what happened that day. It opened below that, and within 5 minutes, it made its low.
Ah,
And if I had set the stop prior to the open, I would have had my stock stolen from me there.
right.
Same thing happened 2 days later, right over here. So if you set your stops before the market opens, always give them that first 5 minutes. And then the stop goes below the low of the first 5 minutes. So that allowed me to stay in. So I sold half of it here today and half of the balance there today. So it was a decent little trade, but it's
Yep.
more about the lesson of don't sell or don't set your stops before the market opens, and certainly just give it a little bit of time for things to settle down before you decide to set a stop.
No, that's, I mean, absolutely fantastic advice right there. I mean, especially in a lot of our viewers' world as well. I mean, what I've really grown as a trader is to try to let the market settle down a little bit, especially in those first 5 minutes. And look, if I like a long and the stocks come in, I'll take it, but there's no way we'll take it in a maximum share size position because you don't need those bigger hands to push the stock in a direction and then get us lesser hands taken out. So great, absolute great advice. I'm definitely keeping that. And the other advice that you've given me too is when there's a gap, fade that back into VWAP. So I really like that one. Hey, have you heard of bagged milk before, or am I just tripping on that as well? Like,
Milk bags, do they come in different sizes?
no.
No, they don't,
It's
like a
no, it's like
liter,
a
half a
it's
liter.
4 liters of milk and there's 3 of them. So I guess a liter and a third or so, which I don't know what that works out to a gallon, but it's really weird, eh? And we get those little containers and you got to snip them. And then, yeah, it's really, really strange there. But anyways, yeah, so you never heard of them, basically.
No, I've never heard
No,
of
okay. Well, when you
milk
visit,
bags.
we'll go to like a grocery store and we'll buy some bagged milk. But great job on that, GLNG. Big shout out to you on that one. You want to look at
Did
Google
we
with?
talk about the swing trade?
Yeah. What? GLNG? Is that's?
No, a new one, a new setup.
You have a new setup? Then
That's what I was teasing. So
let's
I'm
go.
sure there's people saying, come on, are we going to get to this or what?
Okay, let's go, people.
NCNO. Here's the play. NCNO. They just reported earnings. We can start here on this 15-minute time frame because that's where I'm at.
Yep.
This was an earnings report right here. So as always, we want to set an anchor to that price. And you can see that there's our anchor. Initially, it acted as support, and then we saw some aggressive selling here. And if you I actually looked at the news for whatever reason, there was a pretty good chunk of insider selling on that day. And you know what? It really doesn't matter who sells, I don't think. It's what happens after the fact.
Right.
So we saw that the VWAP from the earnings report held its supply right here. This morning, again, it held its supply. But while that happened, the 5-day moving average went from declining to flattening out and has the chance to turn higher. We have higher lows with this right now. And to me, it gets above today's high. You can buy the stock likely with a stop below today's low if you want to give it more room under here. And above that level, that makes the higher high above that flat to rising 5-day moving average. It's back above the anchor, the average price paid since the earnings report came out.
Right.
So that means it absorbed all the supply. The buyers have retaken control. And what's more impressive is this. This is the weekly chart. And this is kind of what I had outlined for subscribers to Alpha Trends because we've been waiting for this setup, which is the earnings report was really big volume, and we've pulled back to this prior little band of resistance right in here. This resistance is now holding as support on later volume. Now the next move, I think, is likely to head up towards the anchor from this point right here. And then the next anchor of interest is from the IPO up here near 50. So here's a stock that I think looks great for a swing trade. By the way, the earnings were up. They were 21 cents versus 4 cents a year ago. Revenues were up 13%. And as I always say, that tells me there's people who trade fundamentally who are interested in this
Right.
stock. Not necessarily that I think it's so great, but when you back that up with this chart, and then you start to say, well, is that a shoulder? Is that a head? Is that a shoulder? It all comes together to look like a low risk, high probability continuation of the upside.
So our outs are down there in those mid to low 30s, where some of those other indicators were there, or is this something that you're going to be willing to hold for a little bit low?
Yeah, for a swing trade initially, I think maybe your worst case stop goes under here.
Right. Okay.
And then as it breaks higher, I think you quickly raise your stop up underneath today's low.
Right.
And you could probably even get away with a stop under today's low if it breaks out. Because, based on the definition of trend, higher highs and higher lows, if we make a higher high, well, then our stop goes below the most recent relevant higher low. That's this right here. So if it breaks that higher high, comes back down below that low, our new emerging uptrend no longer exists. The definition simply isn't there. We're not setting our stop 3%, 5%, whatever. We're basing it on here we have a higher low, another higher low. If we get the higher high above that, rising that anchored VWAP from the earnings and the 5-day moving average, buyers are clearly in control. It's their game to lose. If it breaks back below that 34.50, in my mind, they've lost it. So why stick around?
So just an idea right there that all of our viewers can go find it at Alpha Trends for sure there on Twitter and everywhere. Thank you so much, Brian, for that idea. And just quickly, you got that sort of an idea. Did that come across your radar because of that earnings report on an extended amount of volume potentially there? Or was this something that you sort of noticed was basing out? Because I've never traded this name and it's not, pretty low volume. Well, today is actually 2 million, so it's actually pretty good right there, but a nice looking name and great on the weekly chart, looking like it broke out. But did that show up on one of your scanners, or what sort of gave you the initial thought there? Because it's a great look.
Yeah, great question. So all of my scanning is done manually. I don't really look for anything in particular, but sometimes during the day when I'm bored, I'll go through stocks that are up on big volume and that sort of thing. And I think I noticed this maybe a day or two after the earnings report. And then I pulled up a MarketSmith chart where I could see what the fundamentals were quickly and saw that they were, it was an earnings report that was the catalyst. So it tells me the fundamental crowd is interested in this. Maybe the insider just, wants to buy a new yacht. He sold like $40 million worth or something like that. But that stock has been absorbed by the market. So it's looking like it's time to go high, continue higher.
Maximum trading gains with anchored VWAP. Absolutely fantastic. This has got some bookmarks in here. We've got some, what do they call it when they, deer? No,
dog ear.
Dog ear. Deer ear. Like, what am I even doing? I got to get out of here. But yeah, it's been passed around the trading floor and it's absolutely fantastic. So I want to thank you once again for coming on and sharing all of that. And a great trade. We'll check back on NCNO next week. But until then, Brian, have yourself a fantastic week. Hopefully we'll check you next week. And good luck with these prints. Good luck with some of these trades.
Great. Thanks, Shawn. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Brian. That's it right there. It's Trader Talking. Wow. I mean, there you go. Thank you, Michelle, Mir, and everybody in the chat there. Such a nice tip, such a great guest. And that's what we're going to be doing here. I want to thank Brian again for coming through. I mean, not much else to say about that. Great trade idea. Go find him. Brian Shannon, great book, Anchored VWAP. We use it here all the time. And he just gave you a couple examples of where exactly you can find trades like that. So a great call there. Thank you so much, Brian, for coming through one more time. And then just tomorrow, I tweeted this out. This is what's expected. So get locked and loaded, man. It's going to be 3433. We're really excited for tomorrow's CPI. We'll have it live. I mean, Brendan will be there. Sharif will be here tomorrow at 8:30. Look, normally what we do right now is we talk a little bit about the sticky note and about different things. I got to run one more time. This show's only meant to be a half hour. I want to thank everybody we're going to do roll call still. There's a couple tweets that I want to show you just real quick. This might be something that's interesting to you. If you were watching on the main show, you already know about this. How in the world is Nikola the #1 EV stock this year? Well, I'm just going to trust this chart as being right. But there it is, Nikola up 25%. Every other EV name that, pardon? that you could think of is on here for a red spot. So not an amazing performance for EV names here so far. And by the way, I meant to talk about this. Yeah, get my mug off just for one quick second. There it is, S&P 500 daily trading volume. It's lowest since Black Friday. And look at everybody as we all look up at the eclipse. So we were talking about that yesterday. Black Friday, first, that's the lowest trading event. Again, there's a lot of holidays surrounding that, when people take the Friday off, so on and so forth. But this was a random Monday in April, and there it is right there, April the 8th, one of second lowest volume day of the year. So no surprise there. I hope everyone did not receive any eye damage or anything looking there up at the sun yesterday. It was relatively uneventful here in Toronto or the GTA, but it wasn't that such a shame. I was outside with the wife after. We were just in the backyard with the dog, and then it was like, it was beautiful. I was like, oh my God, imagine if this is what it was. It was cloudy here. Look, for everybody here at Trader TV Live, I'm Shawn Katina. Make sure you follow me at Trader TV Shawn. I give a big shout out to my guest, Brian Shannon, once again for coming out. And man, we had another great day trading, and I'm just glad to be here with everybody. We're on quite a streak, and we're gonna see if we can continue that tomorrow. We'll wait for that number. Join us tomorrow at 8:30. But I almost forgot one thing, didn't I? Ooh, man, I almost got in trouble from the masses right there. Shout out to Bears vs. Bulls. Thank you so much. But right now, let's not let everybody go without doing a roll call. Traders stay late, and this is the latest the show will be right now because we're doing roll call. What's up for Fugazi, Beret? It's a Fugazi. I mean, was it today? I don't know. We'll see tomorrow what happens with the futures. That move could have been true. Maybe we wish we were buying some of those levels at 3 o'clock. A nice move to the upside. Hey, what's up? Josh Lyles is in the building. Valentin, what's up? Deuces, we out. Jimbo Slice, peace to that as well. Caputi, Henry Chung, thank you so much for your nice tweet today. Shout out to South Korea as well. What's up to Henry Chung right there? Bears vs. Bulls is here. Mike Breeze is here. John, For Profit, Sam, No Jack, Travel Buddy, Sebastian, Joe is, Sebastian's always here. Take Profit, Tom. Hey, thank you for joining, man. The Piper is still here. That's really good to see. Brandon, coffee and crypto. You have crypto and you have coffee. You're doing pretty good. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see everybody tomorrow at 8:30. But for now, I'm Shawn Katina. This is Trader TV Live. Thanks, Fabian. I'll see you tomorrow.